Shirt's slightly small, but it's good. And I found out that if I put it over other shirts, this shirt will stop the wind really well from the shirts under, and so they get all warm. And this, and then a shirt over this to keep my chainmail from scratching all, like from tearing this shirt up, is pretty good until I mean pretty comfortable if I keep moving and doing stuff until about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a negative 8 degrees Celsius. 16 Fahrenheit is 8.8, I believe. I already can't. Yeah, I gotta look it up. It's cool. It doesn't do the screen. What was it? It doesn't. So yeah, come on. And uh, uh, so if you're doing something like you eat slightly too much, or you're eating some like a couple of different ingredients that your body can't comfortably deal with at the same time, uh, I eat a lot of dairy and milk and meat. I try not to eat that much meat so much anymore, or have always been trying to do that. Less life. A lot of sugar, starches, chips, potato chips, instant potatoes, corn chips. Uh, all seeds are fertilized eggs, so even that still you're grinding up the corn babies and the wheat babies, wheat fetuses. They're all like all seeds, grains, nuts. They're all babies. It's very like you eat. Okay, so Jurassic Park has seen life finds a way. That's actually pretty like that happens with plants too. Not like the asexual reproduction, although, but the actual sexual reproduction, not using any like, but only using the one gender of plant. Uh, um, so you're building up a bad habit. Like I had some medication. Okay, so yeah, this is something. If you're being told to take medication and it starts producing side effects, and they say, "Well, we'll keep trying," or we'll increase the amount. Well, you got to ask them. Say, is that going to help the side effects, or is that going to help with like what you're thinking the dose is supposed to help with? Because if it's not going to help the side effects, then that is when you say let's change this medication. And actually, would you quit or just get me somebody different for even suggesting, like for you suggesting to keep hurting my health in such a way? Because there are other options, and that they don't want to try them doesn't mean there's not other options. It's just it's that they won't make as much money if they try them, or if they suggest that it's too soon. No, you need to, like your body's telling you it's wrong. You even then, like your brain's trying to there. I don't know, like that's the whole part of the no medical diagnostics through this. They'll weigh you, and they'll take your the blood pressure and your temperature, but they don't use an EKG. They don't use an MRI. Uh, those are things that we would show you physical changes. Is these pills are changing your body? These pills and injections are changing our bodies. That's so there's reasons why they're not doing it, because they already know the effects, perhaps, or I don't know. That's the whole part of the lack of communication. Do no harm. You should also be don't ignore problems. Like don't ignore stuff because you don't have time to deal with it, or you don't have the way to actually accurately charge for it. Uh, I'm having problems being a capitalist because they didn't teach me, like, hey, you're gonna be paying this, and you're supposed to use the competitive food, like this food price and this food price. Well, then you go to places where we have to sell at this food price, so nobody can actually make. You, sorry, I want to see a profit per purchase, not. I mean, I do also like the price per ounce, price per so much or quantities. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's so like these VR apps or these CR scanner things or something, like where you hold it up and look, and it'll show you like some information about the products. That would be kind of nice. So it'll be like, this one costs this to make because these ingredients do this, but this one costs a bit more because they're also trying to redo this paper costs more because they're planting the trees that like they harvest 5-year old trees, and then they won't like the trees that they plant when they're harvesting this tree 5 years later they'll come back to harvest that tree, um, type of thing like a. I don't know. It'd be nice to see what some of that stuff looks like. Just I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. Weird. When I was going through grade school, that's what I call the daycare that I had. Let's see, what's it? K through 12 for I call that grade school because it's grade like K. If you proceed through K, you go to one, then through 12. Uh, Second grade, into second grade, we leave left that town and go to a similar sized town, but to actually partake of a school much smaller. Like things are, this our family got split up a bit to where the cousins went to one other town. And there's a and progression was so far. Like I dissected a frog in first grade. In third grade, I'm getting frustrated in math class because I see the one dot, or like I see one dot and then some numbers, and then times some numbers, and then your thing. And so like, okay, I don't know how to multiply decimals yet, and panicking a little bit. And I go to the next one, look at the next one. It's two dot like 3 point, or no, it's 2 point like 3 times 4, and then a number. Okay, because this is all single digit multiplication. Okay. I would assume, right? So that makes it a little easier. You can just guess. So 7 times 9. So the next one would have been 3.7 times. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 point. Okay, those aren't decimals. We're doing simple math. And instead of like that relief part kept me from saying, "Hey, we're so fucking behind. What the hell is going on here? We should be learning psychology right now. We should be like this one lady's like you should go learn psychology." It's like, yeah, I should have been taught psychology. You're right. Yeah, all you manipulative assholes, and then this is to make you one too. No, this is to let me see how actual bad it was. But it's still not going to help me as far as figure out who all's, because yeah, I do have those. Like, there's this time where this kid named Bradley Martin goes and like it turns out that his actual relative, like it might have been his dad or his I don't know, whatever. What's worse than having ants in your pants? Uncles. I don't know if it was an uncle but anyway. So yeah, his it was this is in Texas. His dad or some relative owned the Brownfield Motorplex, and my alleged father was working for him for a year or so. And at some point, so we dissected a frog in first grade. He'd gone watching some videos about the Titanic. Remember asking about why the submersible doesn't rust, and they say, well, because they don't take it out of the water. Which it's when they do take it out of the water, they clean it. I don't remember hearing that little bit then, but it came up, and it would probably would. Okay, so at some point going through so one of the things to keep board is your boundary testing of your captors. So if you learn like when they start locking you in your room to keep you asleep so you'll get bored at night instead of appreciating that you may not need as much sleep as other people, that maybe you're like every human, your day cycles aren't the same as the rock that you're planted on. That's not earth time and human time. Yeah, you need to know there's a difference. That's why these work weeks, they got to be work months, or they got to be work years type of thing. That the I've got to figure out a way where, like, I can't do the 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, because after 8 hours I'm beat because of just how useless the fucking job is to begin with. It's everything should have been all most of these jobs should be automated. The whole humans need to work. Well, that's because it keeps us on this grade system where, hey, if you, but then there's always that whole, oh, this is an idea, we can bypass this, like the house flipping thing. I can't afford houses because they've all been flipped. You can't search a $30,000 house because the $30,000 house was bought for $100,000 house. $100,000 house then gets bought to a 200. It's cool. Like that's cool that it worked for y'all. It's just it sucks that you had to do that to other people. Is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to say y'all are bad for doing it. That's y'all are marketing geniuses. Y'all are bad people for doing it though. Like y'all are perpetuating the. Okay, so wait, yeah, you are. Okay, so yeah, say I love you for getting it done and for being awesome for having thought of that. I really hate you for having thought of that and doing that though. Like I'm on disability, so not don't take that whole hate love shit like oh I want to fuck you or oh I want to stab you. Although there's probably a lot of me that like okay, so this is what I'm not. Um, Regardless, yeah. When some customer, hey, this was wrong. Well, if you're the person like trying, one of my issues is that I know some of these people are stealing stuff. I'll have, like this lady's gonna walk out with this stuff. Said, hey, take the like I'll pay for that. It says no, I was gonna what? It says yeah, I'll pay for it. Turns out it was $70 worth of beef jerky. It was 3 packs of beef jerky, 4 packs maybe. It was probably 4 packs. $70 of meat. That's gonna last. That'll last one person maybe 2 weeks. The amount of meat that they had, as far as if they're eating in a way that's conserving. I lived for a few years without a refrigerator to save some money, save some sound. Uh, multiple times a day. No, thank you. And there's also the whole the you can hear a fan going now, or that sound you're hearing. It's a fan. Did change slightly. Can't turn it up another notch because it's too hot. It'll burn. I it got cold the other day. I was gonna turn it up all the way and see if it would burn, if it would overheat, but it didn't get that cold yet. Like I didn't. It would have been too warm for me. As far as I was about to go to sleep, I didn't want to leave it and wake up sweltering. It was fucking ever. So I got to sleep with the outer door open of this. This is a camper. I've got that one. And if you notice, that's the mirror that you would might seem like you're most likely to see, but it's really not. This is the one because I'll sit here for a couple hours a day. Generally not jerking off. If I do jerk off, then I'll sit here for a couple hours a day, couple days a couple times a day, and after, yeah, and so that's uh, definitely have more time not doing that, especially if some people are like, well, I definitely agree with the whole if you do you choose to use the jerking off and you're able to, well, when you're jerking off 15, like get your shit done quicker. But then some people are like, nah, I want to take my time, because that's, but then those people may not even like have uh the multiple times they may not take them as I have no idea. They may not do it multiple times. Maybe just be fucking the whole fucking time drinking water, which is fine too. Once they hit that 17-hour mark, they've set a world record. It's the world records that's for a male. I didn't see one listed for female. I don't think they're hydrating well. Like, okay, should have done the. Yeah,